Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the Airthings Masters, the first event of the Meltwater Chess Champions Tour. I am Patrick JMT. I'm here with International Master Kostya Kavutsky, and we are looking at some games and having some fun.
Yeah, we got round four here starting. Already started actually. Looks like we have another Italian. And Hans playing very solid with e4, e5. Bishop c4, knight f6, d3, and a knight c3. I mean, in the past, this used to be considered like a beginner's move,
Hmm.
and that it's better to put the pawn on c3
Right.
to kind of control the center. But this is one of like the latest trends, like in the Italian game in the last couple of years, where white plays like knight c3 and tries to play knight a4 and pick up the bishop pair if black plays d6 and allows it. Or otherwise playing for like bishop g5 kind of typically. So it's very explored and it's very equal all over the place. But there's all these like different ideas and nuances. So it's not like it's dead everywhere. It's more just like there's too much theory to keep track of. So people keep bouncing around. We end up getting a very weird pawn structure where white accepts the double pawns in the center. And these are generally considered nice because they control a lot of important squares in the position and they give white an open f file.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that black also wants these double pawns, but Aronian says, no, no, no. No double pawns for you. b3, castles, and then
Only
finally
now
he
takes.
takes. Yeah, after black plays knight e7. So I guess we see why he plays d4. He's kind of first in the center, queen f2. And both players here just building up. Hans eventually takes on d4. I mean, yeah, I see no strategic issues with this position. Like all his pieces have good squares. He's got a
Mm-hmm.
solid structure.
You obviously have to watch out about some knight d5 moves at some point. Just I guess you want to keep an eye on those. But
Yeah. So he goes rook f8. Yeah, I mean, I think he can play knight h5 at any moment, but he's kind of like building up. Maybe c6 somewhere. Yeah, right now, I mean, I think he's looking very, very solid
yeah, I was
against
gonna
Levon.
say maybe we can poke around because this looks pretty.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. Okay, people are saying Hans is
yeah,
winning, and I
I'm
believe
seeing that
them
now.
because he has
Let me see.
started picking up the queen side here.
Oh wow, whoa, he's like way. Is Aronian gonna pull a miracle like he did the last game? This is a. I mean, Hans has lots of time here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm shocked to see Levon in this position with like 12 minutes on his clock, and he's
Yeah,
down two pawns and in huge danger.
I
I
mean, it
think of
felt.
just losing.
I'm playing over the moves here real quick. Like it just felt so like I don't know if dry is the word, but it felt like pretty solid. But
Mm.
yeah, okay, so he's two pawns up. I mean,
I'm actually, this is, I think, a really interesting decision that he did make because he clearly spent time here after rook b6. He didn't spend a lot of time. He ended up taking on a4 and allowing these kinds of trades, going for this final endgame where he has two rook pawns.
mhm.
You know, it's not the most winning of endgames. Maybe he's judged it to just be totally winning. I assume he did. Otherwise, I think he would have spent more time, right, and kept thinking. Because he had lots of options. For example, he didn't have to go king g5 here. He could have gone king f5, which to my eyes is maybe simpler because then you can cover the g pawn with your rook.
Right.
And then, for example, let's just say something like takes rook g5. And to me, it looks like we're just winning the second pawn. And this is just lights out. Like this is just shake hands.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. He must be as confident, about the game, the position that he thinks it's winning.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not looking at the lines, but the eval is saying he's clearly 100% in charge. Yeah, it still feels, again, I'm not the expert here, but it feels
No, no. What is the eval for Hans? Actually, I'm kind of.
On chess 24, it's saying negative 4.45.
Oh, okay, minus yeah, because our eval bar is like saying it's like close to equal. Okay, yeah, -5. Yeah, that means it's winning. Which yeah, okay, not too surprising. I think it's kind of rare cases that these two rook pawns end up drawn. Like sometimes like your king has to get stuck or the rook has to get stuck and so on.
It just seems like you can start marching your king up the board and slowly push the pawn and push the pawn and give some checks and push the pawn. I would suspect is that sort of the
Yeah, I think that's
like
the
why
general
not just
approach, just kind of slowly advance, right?
like,
And
why not play a4?
Mhm.
Why not play a4? Or is there some, maybe there's something better? I don't know, but like
no, I think a4 is reasonable. I think king h4, either of these moves look totally fine. Hans goes rook f5, rook g5. Rook g5 is kind of a nice way to do it. It's kind of like a bridge type of thing where you're just trying to get the king out. Now he can't go king g4 here because he's going to lose the h6 pawn. But he can get his king off of the h file because the king doesn't really want to be in the way of its own pawn. He'd rather maybe he'll even play rook g6 here actually, or consider it at least to get the king out in front. So let's see. Actually, I think we have. Oh, he played a4, and now white went rook a7.
so
Looks like
just
he gave a
slowly
check.
making just making some progress here, right?
Now rook b4. Yeah, jump to the live position. Yeah, h5 just played.
Yeah, just like we were saying, right? Just sort of move one up and then maybe move the other one up and then just.
Right.
So this is interesting, right? How do you make? Okay, so now you can't really advance the h pawn and you can't advance the a pawn. So, well, I guess you can, right? You just play rook b3 and then
Yeah,
play
rook
a3.
b3 check still. Yeah, but this is what I was. This is why I was kind of like, why is he going for this? You know, because it's like.
Right.
It feels like it's still winning. Okay, now he goes rook g4. And he has this maybe trick in mind. He can push a3. And if white takes,
Yeah.
then rook g3 check.
Yeah, so I guess you either have to sort of either stop threatening the h pawn or the a pawn, right, with that rook. And if the king moves, just like you said, well, even if it doesn't, you can always play a3. So,
Right.
or just king f2. Then, well, okay. I mean, I don't know what like. How does white even try to hang on? Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
king
looking
f2
at peeking
maybe.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is like the number one line, but they're giving us like negative almost 7. So
Yeah, still
know.
winning for black. But the question is like how winning, how easy is it? To me,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
Hans looks very confident, so I assume he's pretty sure. Okay, so there's Hans's idea. He did want to go rook f4 check king g4. So he makes some space for the king. But now Levon brings his rook back so he can try to give checks from behind.
she's play something like king g3, and then if there's a check, you just block it. Okay, maybe not. I guess maybe now if there's a check, you can play king h3 and keep pushing the h pawn.
Yeah, but then you're still stuck on the h file. Why didn't you go king g3? I think that was way stronger, honestly. Like king g3, I think white almost resigns there because like rook g4 and then the h pawn is just running.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, king h3. I think he's still winning.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx him just yet, but he looks like he's on track to do something good here.
He's doing well. Hey, looks like Hans did win.
Did he wrap it up? That's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, let's see. Rook a4. Rook. I mean, he just like kept inching up,
Yeah.
and Levon had enough. He's like, all right, this is you got.
I was just saying, like, right? You just slowly advance one side and the other, and then the other, and at the end of the day, one day you get to the end of the board, and you're in business.
Yeah, one of the pawns eventually promotes because the rook can't really cover both. So well done by Hans. I mean, 2.5 out of 4.
Yeah, especially and that first game could have gone either way. So
Yeah, it was pretty close.
yeah, I think he's going to have as good of a first day as a lot of these people. I mean, he's not going to be, I think, too far off from whomever.